Guys, it's very much about embodying the feelings you want to feel. But how do we feel them, Julie, if we've never really felt peace, if our nervous system's been hijacked, and mine, I remember it being hijacked and probably ADD, ADHD. I was jacked up from a child. So the number one thing is movement for me. I had a lot of nervous energy, and I was what one would call lazy. And I hate that word. Oh, I don't hate. I just don't prefer it. I had no energy, and I got called lazy a lot. Lazy and sensitive were the two words I heard the most during childhood. So, movement. I personally love Qigong. It slowed me down. Here in the States, and I'm sure elsewhere, movement, I grew up 80s Jane Fonda. It was aerobic. It was hard, high impact aerobics and things that are very rough and strenuous on your body. And through the course of my life, I had put my body through enough. So through this past, I guess, year, a little more, a little less, Qigong has slowed me down because I found if you want to integrate mind, body, spirit, you really got to work on the slowing down. Spirit isn't high impact, it's slow. It's in the movements. And then suddenly, like in the last video, I was talking about, you create your own symphony. And in my spiritual practice, I know I'm not just this body, but if I want to it's up to me to make this body feel good. I relied too much on doctors, pharmaceuticals, then alcohol, drugs, codependent relationships, anything to get myself out of me. Excuse, there's a bird over here, probably wondering what the hell. Ollie, say hi. And dog sleeping on the couch. Oh, there you are, Aspen. Okay, so getting back to the slowing down and integrating mind, body, spirit. I am not this body, but when I treat this temple that's like rent a spacesuit for 80 to 120, hopefully. I live humbly. I know I only have right here and now. So when I slow down, that's when things really start to happen. And when I can go through 30 minutes of progressive, meditative movement, it really centers you. You feel the chakras opening. Just like I said, forces beyond our control. I can't see my chakras, but I certainly feel them when they're open, and I certainly feel them when they're closing. What else? This is another practice. When I find myself taking my will back, a quick cold with the hot showers. Yes, and that becomes addicting because it makes you sleep better. So many benefits, especially if you're on a weight loss journey. I, at one time, was well over 220 pounds. I really don't weigh myself today. I'm between 125 and 136. I don't care anymore because I'm not this body and I don't have to be neurotic about it, but I just treat the temple good and it treats me good is what I'm trying to get at. So when I get out of character, I definitely do Qigong. Yoga's great. I've done yoga, but there's something very healing to my body with Qigong. But there's no set rules to healing. Just move. If you're chair bound, stretch if you can. Stretch any part of your body. That releases the feel good hormones. It really, 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 really does. So those are two. Nutrition. I was a junk food junkie, still am. I am obsessive about my nightly ice cream, and I get mean without it. It's a forever process working on. So, can Julie go one night? Yes. I had a chocolate bar instead, but it's progress, not perfection, right? Anywho, I try on a daily basis, especially Monday through Friday, 70% healthy, 30% bad. Doesn't always work out like that, but when you start to let go, make peace with your past and stop fearing the future and let God flow through you, the Christ consciousness, the Buddha nature, whatever you choose, whatever you're following, there's nothing right or wrong, but I think we've been taking away from getting in touch with the inner self, and that is where your fractal of source energy comes from, or God, or universal chi, the flow, whatever. You can label everything until the cows come home, but once you feel it, you won't have to put labels on it anymore. You just know you're right. You're right on that path, but get excited about healing. I wouldn't be here not using heroin, opiates, pills, pharmaceuticals, alcohol with everyone, methamphetamine, you name it. If someone just handed me pills, at the end I'd pill identifier, but I just wanted to be taken away from myself. And I think Eckhart Tolle explains it best that drugs, alcohol, and yes, and listen, I will always be 420 friendly, but even the weed can take you below thinking. And spirituality is not, it's rising above the thinking. The thinking is what got me into all of the messes of my life. When I can calm and let source energy flow through me, that's when the great things happen. Einstein said, his great theories didn't come while, amongst the hard work. It came to him when he'd be after dinner taking an evening swim in his pool. That's when, during the calm. So I think that's enough for now. This is another 8-minute video. Oh, have a good one, guys. And remember, healing is a great journey. And yes, we have experience in our lives that will cause suffering. But when you have the tools to deal with that suffering, you can come at it at a different angle and not always with, how could you do this to me? And blah, 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 blah. And yes, I do go there sometimes, but this is what I really do to heal. Excuse the ceiling. My daughter was once in here. Use your imagination. But we're on a healing, so's the house. And so are the mammals, my plants, and you set the tone for your house. Boundaries are important. If my daughter gets well enough to come home, there's boundaries that would absolutely have to be followed, and that's hard. It's hard having real present conversation when you're used to avoiding and sweeping under the rug. So, guys, take it easy on yourselves. This is not about bashing ourselves. This is about forgiving ourselves, and then we're so much more forgiving of others. Have a good one. Namaste.